Peace and blessings. It's Sunday, May the 18th. Last night after midnight, I was in a dead sleep, and Mike Parsons calls from Tipton County Jail. Earlier in the day, someone had called that was close to Mike and said that they had thrown him in the hole. He was not getting any toilet paper, and they had taken his communications away. So we put out a video stating that, and then shortly after that, Mike is given toilet paper, which he had not had for 2 days, and then he makes a phone call to me after midnight. Also, all of these phone calls that Mike calls, they're anywhere from $4 to $8. So SecurusTech.net and Tipton County Jail are making a killing off of these phone calls. And but all of this evil wickedness that they're torturing Mike and making him suffer, all of this will come home to roost to every one of these evil bastards. But here's Mike's phone call. We talked for 30 minutes. And I was in a dead sleep, and Mike called, and I wanted to take his call. And I believe getting his voice out on the internet reminds people that he's still alive, and they have not killed him yet.
7. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
I don't think recording this call is, without going into too big social action, is they have moved me to the hole because I witnessed an officer assaulting an inmate, and I pushed the button to call the control to report it. And anyway, they moved me to the hole, and now are allowing me to get outside rec time. I haven't had a rec in the last 2.5 days. Now my rec time is at midnight or after midnight, the middle of the night, and my access to illegal work, I have to sit on the stairs in the unit now, as opposed to going and sitting at in the visitation room before. At least I had a ledge. They were going to leave me in the unit I was in that had tables in it, but here in the hole there's no tables. So these people are just totally insane to believe that somebody's supposed to be able to sit on steps with paper in their lap and write legal documents. No pen, of course.
Hey, somebody called, and I'll respect their privacy, but they said they were denying you toilet paper as well, and commissary and things like that.
That's true. I haven't had toilet paper in the last 2 days. I've been asking for it today. I finally got it. I finally got a roll of toilet paper tonight at 7 o'clock, but like Officer Z, all day long, I asked him for toilet paper. Every time I saw him, he was in here at least 8 times. And, he just gives me this, what they call it, indifference. He really could care less. And I asked the lady, the short lady, Miss Hinkson, that comes in and does the visitation, does counselor down, and she just smiled. Nothing. But I haven't had commissary since I got here.
Right.
The kiosk, they require, I don't know about everybody, but it requires me to agree to freaking contracts. It says I will agree to allow them to charge me criminally if I accidentally bump into the Priya button, or if I want commissary, I've got to agree to let them waive my right to sue them. I think the medical form is waive my right to sue them if they injure me or kill me. And then we'll let you order commissary if you agree to waive our rights, because we plan on killing you while you're in here.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
In the unit where I'm in, there's a dude that is a rock man that can pop his door and come out, and so he's been telling me all day he's going to come and kill me, because 2 years ago somebody had their kiosk up and was letting me read the news, and the guy had just been moved from one unit to the unit I was in, and apparently he wrote an email that he is a witness to something. Well, I was told to lock down, so I went to lock down, and I forgot to close out the guy's kiosk, and other guys came out and got into it, looked at it, saw that there was an email. Well, they thought I wrote the email because these morons don't even look at the date of it. If they looked at the date, they would have seen it happened weeks before I was ever, around this guy, before the guy was ever moved into the unit. But they don't think. And so they think that I'm a witness to some kind of a major crime that I was reporting. It's like, you're out of your senses. I don't report anything to these people. I don't trust these cops here. I said, I'm the guy that's going to try to help you guys if somebody tries to do something to y'all. I'm just, a victim like everybody else in this whole prison for profit scam. But you can't get through these guys.
Mm. Are you still in 23-1?
Yeah, same thing. And I'm in a room now that's 8 inches smaller. I went from a little over 7 feet wide to 6 foot, 10 inches wide, 11 foot long. And now the day room, which was like 30 by 20, is now 14 by 20.
Wow.
Oh, and it doesn't have a shower here, so they apparently have to take you some other place in the building and take showers once or twice a week. But all this because I pushed the button and reported them. When I called the guy, he said, that's not an emergency. I said, an officer assaulting an inmate is not an emergency. He said, you push that button one more time, I'm going to send you to the chute. Well, I never pushed the button again. But he moved me to the chute anyway. I think it was retaliation from the sergeant because when she came and got me to take me to visitation, she said, he made me mad. He shouldn't have said what he said. I said, I know it made you mad, but you don't have a right to beat the guy up. I said, sticks and stones. Write the guy up, but don't beat him up.
Wow.
Anyway.
Hey, a letter is headed to you from Mrs. P, and well, I mean, it's not from Mrs. P, but it'll have some responses from Mrs. P.
Right. Okay, and you had sent me a letter a while back, and it had in it basically your weekly blurb, so I know that there was something in it that was taken out. I'm thinking you might have sent me some information about the FBI rigging DNA or FBI, tricks that they use to frame people. Because I wrote down on my list of things that I'd asked you a while back, and it was probably later on, a week later, that I got that letter, and I'm thinking, okay, he might have, because you had mentioned you had resources of data of stuff the FBI does, like, false DNA testing. Planting DNA is no more. They can take one of my hairs that they find in the cell, or they can take a Kleenex or anything that I'm blowing my nose on. Boom, you got DNA. No big deal.
Yeah, I call it fantasy forensics. They lie about DNA all the time. There's a guy by the name of Dr. Frederick Whitehurst. It was a national scam. I mean, a national scandal where he was saying that the FBI fabricated evidence to appease the prosecution and to help the prosecution many, many times. It was a nationwide scandal about fantasy forensics in the FBI laboratories. Anyway, he's a real famous guy. He's a whistleblower. He's a big-time whistleblower.
I remember listening to, I think it was that guy, probably on one of these shows, and basically, if you took a scale of 1 to 100 to go from the general population is all 99%. If you're of any Caucasian ethnicity, you're 99% match right there.
Yeah.
So you go from 0 to 100 on a scale. Let's say the scale is 10 foot long. I think he gave the analogy. The scale's 10 foot long. To go from 0 to 99, you only have to move a quarter of an inch. That's how far you got to move. To go that rest of that from 99 to 100, you got to move a long ways, and you can have a cousin, a brother, a father, and they show virtually an exact match on your DNA. Because DNA is not what people think it is. And here's another thing: DNA changes. Your DNA is not the same today as it was a year ago. Like fingerprints. Do you know, I've been trying to get into this kiosk just to, even though I can't go into it, when I try to key into it and use my thumbprint just to see what time it is and how much money is on the account, if any money is on the account. And guess what? It don't work anymore. It's very hard to get it to work. Why? Because my fingers have changed. Because as I'm being starved and lose weight, my body shrinks. Therefore, my fingerprint changes. And guess what? The wrinkles and the grooves and all this other lands and stuff, all that changes. That's why they want your finger. Every time you get arrested, they want to take your fingerprints. If you've already given your fingerprints one time, why would you need to do it again?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've been trying to get a hold of this federal public defender here in Memphis that I heard was good at helping. And I've left several messages for her. I'm thinking the thing is, they don't want me to be able to call any law firms or call anybody during business hours. This is what this is. This is all a ruse. And if anybody listening can call her, her name is Mary Kay, and she's at the Memphis Federal Public Defender's Office at 901-544-3895. If they can call and say, hey, Mike's been trying to call you. He's left a few messages. You're hard to catch, but guess what? Now he's locked down all the time. He just got out after 2.5 days. Oh, and they're letting him make his rec time to make phone calls at midnight or after. So thereby eliminating his ability. Her client was Daryl Owens, who was here. He had a bunch of things that she helped him with. But I have now virtually been eliminated from the ability of contacting anybody during normal business hours. So this attorney, John Merrick at 901-351-7695, who sued Tipton County before, or Bill Whitsett, I believe he's now working as a public defender. His is Bill Whitsett is 901-545-5800, or Rick Rosser, 901-465-2702, or Scott Lovelace, 731-595-4075. Any one of these, I believe, is sued to the county. I would be more than happy to do it again, because this is a corporation that's just gone nuts. Or at least the people running it.
The Huffington Hotel from hell, yo.
The Huffman Hotel from hell, where starvation is a daily reality.
How long are you going to be in the hole, man? Do they tell you?
For the rest of the time I'm here.
Wow.
I asked the CO that brought me over here, this guy Baker, who I ripped the guy up back a month ago because he's nasty. He's a young guy, and he'll take the gloves that you're supposed to use only for handling food. You know, these little clear plastic mitts that you put on. And he'll do the doorknob, he'll do the flap, the keys, he'll touch everything that everybody's had their nasty hands on, the car, everything, and then he wants to grab all the sandwiches. And I said, sir, you just contaminated the glove, now you're contaminating the food. I don't want to eat something that everybody's had their dirty mitts on now that you've touched it. I said, please change gloves. And he wouldn't do it. So that day, I just didn't eat. I did not accept the sandwich. I said, I will not. I'm not a dog. I'm not going to be treated like a dog. I'm sorry. And he says, well, this is jail. F you. I said, he says, nobody cares. And I said, well, I care. He says, well, nobody else does. So he brought me over here, and I asked him, I said, I never pushed the button after you told me not to. It's a call button in the room. He said, well, that's fine. We moved you here anyway. I said, but are you writing me up too? Is it like a disciplinary issue? He said, no. So basically, I'm being punished without a write-up, with no documentation. I'm in the hole. You don't put people in the hole unless there's a disciplinary. Everybody in here is in here for disciplinary. Everybody's in here for something. I'm the only guy that's sitting in the hole in room 1 with the ability to have no access to anything. And the sink, you hit the button to run the water, it shoots across the room and hits the wall.
Wow, that's insane. Hey, I need to print out an article from CBS News. They just released an article that said Alabama prisons are unconstitutional, and they gave multiple, like dozens, if not hundreds, of examples of horrific conditions in Alabama prisons across the state. It breaks the Eighth Amendment of cruel and unusual punishment.
And my wife's sitting in one where 2 women have died over the course of 6 months apart for the same, apparently, lack of medical care.
Yes.
It's not acceptable. In the United States, even though it's a corporation in America, that's not acceptable. You got people being treated better that are actual third world gulags than you do here. This is just totally corrupt. And Mrs. Parsons doesn't need to be there. She didn't be locked up there. She needs to be free. But if anybody can send me, you sent me a copy of the writ of habeas corpus for.
Oh, Mike, that file you wanted me that you identified. I don't know the password. It's got a password to it.
Okay, all right. You can cut it out if you
Yep.
can, but whatever.
Yep.
I don't do a lot of this. I just had to. That was one I had to make up, and so anyway, you sent me a writ of habeas corpus for a 28 United States Code 2241. Apparently, the form that I need is a writ of habeas corpus for the 28 United States Code 2254 and 2255. Apparently, there's subtle differences in them. One is for federal, one is for state. And I've got my writ of habeas corpus filed in federal court right now. They've got it. Mom has paid the $5 fee. This place here would not give me a $5 check, though I had $28 in the account at the time 2 months ago, and I started asking for them to cut a check. See, they're denying me access to the court because they know if I don't get the filing fee put in there. And then the judge sent me a letter saying, well, if you'll at least give me a printout of your inmate trust fund statement. This facility, since I've been asking nonstop, I asked every sergeant and every corporal I've asked for a copy of my inmate trust fund since April 30th, and they have all refused or said, well, you got to get it from Keaton or it's up to Keaton. So the world evolves around Staff Sergeant Keaton in their eyes. Nobody here will buck this system because at the end of the day, they're all about the team as opposed to about the truth. And people need to think about this. I hear, without saying names, I'm always being reminded, well, those family members can't help you because they would lose their job. And I'm thinking, okay, great. So when they go to meet their maker, and their maker says, well, what did you do to help? Well, I prayed a lot, but I had to keep my job. And then they're going to get that proverbial, well, fine, take your job and go elsewhere because you just traded your salvation for the comforts of that job, which you thought you would lose if you helped your family member. People are making trade-offs. They're making moral decisions every day about people that are family members of theirs that are locked up in prisons and jails that are innocent. When you choose not to help these people, and I don't mean sending them money for a commissary, I mean helping them with getting resources to get free. I tell you, I don't want to order commissary. I want to be free. I want my life back. All this other stuff, I don't want luxuries. I don't want accommodations. It's like my mom said, well, if you get out of there, they're just going to try to kill you. I said, Mom, they could kill me any time while I'm in here and covered up. At least if I'm free, I got a fighting chance. I got someplace I can run. In here, I'm trapped in a room, 7 foot by 11 foot, concrete vault. No one. There's a 2-inch slit window in this room, but it's glazed over. You can't see out. So.
Wow.
No more room with a view. The unit I just came from is a brand new unit, so it's still got, plexiglass you can see out of. It's hell. It's really, really bad, and I don't seem to. I wrote a one-page letter basically for her. I was going to try to get her to write certain elected officials I won't mention that could help me get moved to a better facility where I can have access to my legal material and food and a phone and what you're supposed to have. But I don't have it right here in front of me, and damn it, it would take me 5 minutes to say it, but I'll have to get it another time, I guess. But if she contacted these people by phone and realized, if you talk to the secretary's got the same pull with these bureaucrats as the elected official. They carry weight because they work in the office for that elected official. So the elected official's secretary calling the Department of Corrections or the Bureau of Prisons or whatever has that power of that elected official to get the recognition that you need. And I talked to one guy when I was being transported, and his family member called a congressman, and they got him moved out of a facility that he was at within like a month because he was in a really, really bad one, and they got him moved. But the thing is that as one friend says, a closed mouth does not get fed. And if you're not speaking out and asking people, and I've got one relative who says, well, I'm just not going to run out there and stand on the street corner and yell and scream because they'll lock me up. It's like, well, no, nobody's asking you to do that. That's not effective. What's effective is utilizing the professional skills that you have over the course of your professional experience in life and call these elected officials who you paid for and who you elected and tell them, hey, my family member is being effectively starved to death. He's 6'5", originally 195 pounds. Now he's below 170. He's pale. He's gaunt. He's emaciated. He looks like a skeleton. He's being starved. He's being denied access to legal materials. He's not had access to a notary, or they won't let him have pen or paper to work on his case, and his legal box, because he needs his box of legal materials and a pen at the same time to work. Otherwise, he can't do the work. So he's denied access to the court, and they hold up his mail. They return his legal mail to sender. They're denying him access to the court, effectively preventing him from being free. That's obstruction of justice. It's a crime, and it needs to be stopped. And oh, by the way, there's a facility over here, not that far down the road, where, because his family member are afraid of the Tipton County Jail, they won't go there. He has no friends or other family other than his mother that will go there. And when his mother goes there, she's made to sit in a 4-foot by 8-foot concrete vault with a steel door, and it makes her nervous and claustrophobic because she feels like an animal trapped in a cage, and she has to look at her son who's slowly dying through a glass window at the zoo. So allow this family not to have to deal with these terroristic issues, and allow him the ability to be moved to another facility here at the Shelby County Penal Farm, which is now a TDOC facility, whereas he can have access to all these things, plus his family wouldn't be made to feel like an animal in a cage, and they would have the ability to go visit him, and he can work on his case. He's an innocent man. He doesn't even belong there. And perhaps he could get his freedom back. What's wrong with that? Please help us. I bet you the elected official who wants to remain elected would probably realize, yeah, I can do that. Or if not an elected official, the secretary of the elected official can pick up the phone and call the Tennessee Department of Corrections and say, hey, we've got a fellow that's over here sitting in the Tipton County Jail, the Husband Hotel for now, and we would like to get him for the benefit of his family, which is a basis of justification, so that they can go visit, because they can't visit him there. They will not. My family will not come to this jail. My friends will not come to this jail. They're afraid of the Tipton County Board Network. They see what they do. They're not going to put their lives in jeopardy. But if they can move him over to the Shelby County Penal Farm, then he will be able to have visits of his friends and family and be able to work on his case and fight for his freedom. And, oh, by the way, next year we're voting on the budget for TDOC, so please help us. That's how things get done. And, sad to say that you have to utilize these people in order to get these bureaucrats to do their job. That's the way it is. I asked a guy today 10 times for a roll of toilet paper. Okay, I'll look into it. I said, I need to speak to, this Sergeant Keaton about why I'm in the hole. I need to get moved back over to the unit I was in so I can have rec during the day and access. If they're going to let me out in the middle of the night, at least they're over there, I'll have access to a table to sit at. Can you let him know I need to talk to him? He's busy. I said, yeah, we're all busy. But when you see him, can you say, hey, Mike Parsons needs to see you? Okay, I'll think about it. They call it deliberate indifference. Some people call it laziness. I call it evil because that's what it is. You've got live men and women locked up in cages that are fighting for their freedom, and the people on the inside. And this guy is saying, he's a young guy. I said, well, why do you do this kind of work? I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine working in a place like this. He says, well, I want to help people. I said, well, how are you helping people? You're keeping them locked up. Well, I give them food, and I give them toilet paper, and I was like, anybody can do that. I said, helping people is exposing what's going on. Pick up the phone, call the news media, and say, hey, these people are in there starving. You know, the guy in my unit next door that I was in lost 100 pounds in the same amount of time I've been here. Of course, he had some weight to lose, but obviously he's not getting enough nutrition, and it's not a nutritional diet. So our body is slowly consuming itself because we don't have the nutrition, the vitamins, the minerals, the amino acids. What makes nutrition? Just giving me wheat bread and a thin slice of bologna you can see the light through once a day, and 2 tablespoons of grits or oatmeal in the morning with 2 little bitty biscuits. And, you know, I got my peas today. I got my little my slide with 6 little peas in it. The slide is 1.5 inches tall, 1.25 inches wide, by 1.5 inches long. You know, it's a little bitty slot. Well, they don't even fill the friggin' thing. It's got, you know, like 6 peas floating around in the bottom of it. And I showed it to the CEO. I said, this is ridiculous. He said, well, they're all like that. It's like, well, they're all wrong. I had a guy one time that hired me to do an inspection on the house, a brand new house he's having built in subdivision. All the houses are identical. And I found that the downpipe from the hot water heater, the pressure relief discharge drain pipe, was too long. It was down below the top of the rim of the catch pan at the bottom. I said, in the report that this violates code, it's got to be at least twice the diameter of the output of the discharge pipe above the rim. It's called a backflow, an air gap. And the plumber, responded to my report saying, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've been doing it the same way for 30 years. And I responded back, you've been doing it wrong for 30 years. Maybe you ought to read the code, do it right for the remainder of your term. Pissed him off, but hey, the guy was wrong. And some people, they would rather support somebody because it's their buddy, even though they're wrong because it's their buddy. Like the CEO, I said, man, you can write him up. You can't beat him up. I said, as much as you want to, and I laughed. I said, as much as you want. Well, he pissed me off. He shouldn't have said that. I said, I understand that. I said, that's fine, but you can't just go around beating people up. Anyway.
They do it all the time. That phrase, deliberately indifferent, that's the second time I've heard that in the last day or so.
Say that again?
That phrase that you used earlier, deliberately indifferent. That's what they are. They're deliberately indifferent to the atrocities that are going on around them.
Right. They don't care. Now, I don't know if that's true or if it's just a persona. Because, realize some people just put on an act. It's a persona. And, but they do it so well. And, one guy that was here, he's no longer here. He quit it. He's in the medical field. I guess he thought this might be a career path to look into, but I guess he realized once you got into it, they make you compromise your integrity. If you're not willing to compromise and become a liar, to be a send out, as the gangs call it, to be their B word,
yeah,
the B-I-H word.
Right.
If you're not willing to be their little B-I-H word, then this is not the place for you, because they're going to want you to be their B-I-H word and be their, professional liar. And that's the thing that I see. Everybody that comes to these places, they all quit if they've got any moral integrity at all. There was one guy that came here, and he was a new hire, and he came through here, and he was doing the routines. The first day I saw him, I said, you look like a very professional individual. Welcome aboard. I hope that you can make some positive changes. If not, they're going to try to force you to do their dirty work. I said, if you're a man of integrity, unfortunately, this is probably not the place for you, but welcome aboard. And I saw him for about another couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden, he's no longer there.
Yeah. The pattern that I've seen is that the guards in the prisons, they all seem to have I don't like health issues. I mean, they're way overweight, or they just don't seem to be healthy.
Low IQ.
Majority of the people have something going on they're like the island of misfit employees, as I call them. Okay, on the Christmas special with Rudolph, the island of misfit toys. These are the islands of misfit employees. They couldn't get a job elsewhere because either they're overweight, because they've got medical issues, whether it's eating.
You have 1 minute left.
Or like some people are skinny as a rail because they do drugs and they can't keep a job because they're stoned all the time. And anyway, the whole system is corrupted. People need to stand up and speak out. I need a petition application for a pardon so I can work on trying to write this Parsons a pardon request for President Trump. And if anybody out there can help me with those things, and if I can get the true and attest statement I requested a couple of weeks ago from up north, all of my appointments I need to sign where it says true and attest. I hereby certify the following is a true and attest copy and have it notarized or whatever. Because I can file it with the State Department. That's one of the things that they require is a true and attest copy of your credentials. I don't have that here. Anything else?
No, I'm going to try to use that password you gave me earlier, and we'll try to get that in the mail tomorrow. Hold on.